Hello, 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 all my super bearish friends. How are we doing today? Yes, we did get the eventual rollover play again. Hope everyone is doing okay. Anybody new here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button because it does provide some beneficial information. Hey, Kalani, happy hump day. It should be happy dump day. Markets down again. And then thank you for the super sticker. Big shout out to Kalani. Thank you. William, is the rest of the year going to be like this? No. Yeah, well, I can't answer that. Not every day is going to be down. We will get rip your face off rallies. I'm expecting at least a short-term bottom coming in the next few days. Anytime in the next few days. But then we'll get a rally, and then I'm expecting another huge dump, especially with Q2 earnings and everything else. Now, can we bottom sometime this year? Theoretically, yes. I mean, we're closing in on that 50% level already on the NASDAQ, but that doesn't have to be the bottom. This can keep going. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? Hey, hey, Waka Waka. Wonderful trade today. Market to be worried with fake pump and trust my charts. Gotta trust what brought you here. Gotta trust it. Funny Rivian pumping on fake guidance saying 25K cars this year. This year, yeah, right. They will get. Why? Oh boy. Why are big players bailing out? I agree. It's sort of funny that was up after hours. Disney was up after missing top and bottom line, but had strong subscriber growth. And it was heavily short, so we might get a little continued rally in Disney. Hello, Wavy. Mentioned in the morning stream, we're in for a bloody NASDAQ session, and we got that. Disney numbers up, yet loss on revenue. Well, it's subscriber growth, and it's also a potential short squeeze play. Negative 333 points on the day. Yes, Tesla got it handed to him today, down 8.25. We hit that next 87.5% target after closing below the 62.5. High flyers getting smacked every single day, nonstop selling. I don't know if we'll get bidless, but this is good. This is why we're going to be close to at least a short-term bottom. Yeah, and there's also check the short interest, Waka Waka. It's a little too heavy on the short interest, so keep that. I think Q2 will be the real crash. I think Q2 will have a lot of damage done. What's the absolute lowest you see the NASDAQ trading at this year? Well, we can take a look at that. I don't know when the market will bottom, but if we don't start buying now, we'll probably not buy at a lower price. I wait for signals to trigger. I just don't start buying now. And there's a difference between a short-term bounce and then a long-term bottom signal. And we're not near a long-term bottom signal yet. We are getting closer to some short-term bounce signals. By the way, tomorrow morning, there we go. PPI, Producer Price Index. Be interesting to see if that is a miss too. Well, miss would be higher than forecast. That could definitely be still market moving. Also, we got the jobless claims and initial jobless claims. And then you got all your sub PPIs like the core PPI year over year, month over month. So that will be interesting, and more Fed speak at the close tomorrow. Here's your heat map looking pretty ugly. Visa was a standout, and energy was a standout today. And some staple plays. FOMC still sitting with that 50 basis point. Not much interest yet in the 75, and we are still deep into negative gamma territory. It's going to be interesting to see where we close next week with option expiration. We already talked about Disney and Rivian after Beyond Meat was down. It looked like that was another one I was watching, another one that's just getting obliterated. And by the way, tomorrow morning, not a lot that's really going to move it, so all the focus will be on the PPI. So, where do we stand? S&P down 139 basis points, NASDAQ down 279 basis points, Dow only down 80 basis points at the time of this recording. Russell down 215. That was ugly and is already put up. Tesla got absolutely smoked today, 825 basis points down. You can see here, again, daily cycles getting to the bottom now. Weekly cycles are at the bottom, so going to start watching for potential bottoming patterns again. Does that mean it has to happen tomorrow? No, but I'm going to keep an eye on stuff, especially if we start getting some momentum bars to the upside. But what's super interesting, look, with the short-term harmonics, know how we watch for bounces back to between the 50 and the 62.5. That all that does is take us back to the major breakdown zone on the S&P and into the daily rotation zone, which would set up for another fantastic short play. So, I mean, and if we push lower tomorrow, that just bumps that down even farther. But, I mean, it would have to do a lot of major heavy lifting to get anything on. You can see here with the harmonics, that full-blown, that 39.25 stepping in right there. Where does it sit now? If we do break down again, let's see what we have. All right, if we break lower, key levels, I'm going 39.06 and 38.88, 38.86 would be pretty significant. Let's take a look at that on the bigger chart. And that's right down here. We're getting close to some major key support areas, though, and that 37 overall, that 37.5 harmonic. So I will be watching for that coming in. We have this triple bottom that's now resistance area. So I'm going to be watching, especially with this 1 hour rotation zone, if we do pop up into the area of this 39.62 to about 39.71. And if we went above that, this little support area, we almost have some significance there on a 1 hour basis, even slightly down from there. About 39.87. All right, so those are the key overnight things I'm watching. 4 hour rotation zone you see coming in at that 39.87 also, and this 4 hour pretty significant resistance. So this has a ton of heavy lifting to do to get a movement on to the upside. So either we'd have to see substantial momentum bars, or it's got some price action to chew through and chip away through on any rally. Let's see. Big is PPI. Completely agree. There is no bottom yet. I don't have a strong bottoming formation yet, so we were making new lows every other day. People are getting really bearish. The bearish sentiment's getting really deep, and other stuff that I follow, we're getting setups. We're getting stuff, potential daily DeMark setups, which are really good at potentially calling short-term bottoms. Those are getting set up for buys. We're at cycle lows. So we're getting in that area where we start watching more aggressively for bottoms. And this isn't the long-term bottom, short-term bottom. I cannot stress that enough. NASDAQ coming down to this cluster area. I got to take off some of these levels now and update them. Stalling out here. Again, NASDAQ on any rally, I got to go to this 1 hour area. So you have your major breakdown zone, about 12,139. If we got above there, then my next level I'm keying off of is about 12,228, 12,230. Same thing again, even on a rally, it's got a lot of resistance to chew through unless we get major momentum bars coming in after PPI tomorrow or on the open. On a roll lower 11,861, then major cluster at 11,780 roughly. And here's what I'm talking about also. Look where we are in terms of the first area I talked about was this 50% retracement to watch for some at least a possible retracement. Key price area is 11.7, and we're closing in on that very rapidly. So that's the 50% run up from the coronavirus lows. So then what's interesting, so anywhere in here we can also get a pretty substantial short-term bottom. Crypto is getting destroyed again now. Tethers are starting to have some problems. They're starting to decouple a little more this afternoon. It's going to get very interesting in the crypto market. I'm talking you're talking about buying companies. I want to, again, it's what's your time frame? Because there'll be where I'm going to start watching to scoop up companies for long-term holdings, especially once their fundamentals get more in line. Other stuff, the fundamentals aren't in line yet, and so I'm just not scooping a bunch up. You think we'll bounce next week? This week is so bad. I think we're going to bounce in the next. If we bounced this week, we'd have to really get some momentum up there, but I'll be more focused on next week, especially with monthly option expiration coming in, so we could be putting in at least a short-term bottom. Remember, a key strike price, especially for next week, this one's going to be really focused on. Come on, why won't you give me my stuff? Oh boy, it's actually, it won't, something's knocking out the system right now, but it is 4,000 is a major call strike price on the cash S&P. Okay, so where's that 4,000? That 4,000 is overhead. So could we hover around this area? Could we sell off a little more than bounce back there? Yeah, easily. But that's an area I will be especially focused on next week. Dow. Everything down. Everything down. Is that? Yeah, that is. Little potential double. We'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. But Dow, if we do break lower, my next major target is about 31,600. 31,600. Dow's a little. Dow is holding up pretty well with all this selling, but you see, even on a rally with the Dow, a stronger rally just takes us back to this 32,600 area. And right below that would be that target for the double. That does not guarantee that we have to bounce because that's not even triggered yet. But that's the area. If we do get below the 31,600, then 31,250 is the next target down below. Russell, which is just garbage at this point, coming through the, and this is the last thing I'm going to be really focused on in the short term. Can't even do longer term harmonics, but on any rally back, on a stronger rally, it's back to 1806. On key other area, your if we do get a rally in tomorrow, 1758 area. The DAX spiking into that rotation zone. Remember, on the DAX longer term, we're in bearish mode, especially on rallies back in the rotation zone and moving up there and then moving on down today. With this pausing bar, I'm going to update the harmonics. So again, we did not get the close below the 62.5. That's the key level. I'm watching about 33,364. We get the close, then that targets back in this low area, about 12,737 to about 12,428 longer term for the DAX. Crude, outside reversal day, coming up right to that 62.5% harmonic, but not yet closing above it. I was really one that closed above that because that would give me short-term targets of 109.62 to about 111.19. But this is a pretty bullish candle, but we are still in consolidation. Nothing's really changed. Short term, I get more bullish above that 62.5 tomorrow. Longer term, I get more bullish above 111, and then I get really bullish above 116.50. Gold, again, little up bar, trying to hold this 200. That's a critical line in the sand. On a continued rally tomorrow, I'm watching about 1873 to 1876. Silver, again, trying to get a bounce, but selling off. Silver is just getting shellacked, but should be putting in a a bottoming formation pretty soon. Notes coming back up again, holding that 62.5, but not closing above it. So tomorrow I'm still watching this 119.11 area on a closing basis. We start getting close above there, we might have the short-term bottom in for the notes with some divergence out there and cycles still moving up. And the weeklies are just finally starting to turn up. And then we get that close above here. We target that weekly rotation zone plus those harmonic levels because we got the probabilities in our favor. Dollar index, which I'm still watching for this topping pattern, not much going on outside day today, but still at this consolidation at the highs. VIX, interesting enough, was down a bit today. I mean, it's still at elevated levels, don't get me wrong, but there wasn't a lot of panic in the VIX. We did not really break out anywhere close to new highs. This was pretty orderly selling again. Tesla, remember we closed below that 62.5 back here on the 6th, and that means we target that 755 and then the 701 area. Can see getting through those harmonics. I have the updated levels on here that I had to use intraday, and the next harmonic area is 706 to 698. And then below that, I also updated this a little, we'll call it a channel, because longer term, even if we bounce back to the 831 area, it's just another longer term rollover play, and these are my intermediate term targets down here. So I'm still, even on bounce plays, very bearish on that. Apple, we had a lot of mega caps selling today. Remember, let me do this. Apple, Microsoft, Google wasn't that bad. Facebook, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia getting crushed too. But there was just a relentless seller in Apple. You see here, this little harmonic cluster is now hit. If the selling continues in Apple, and also on a weekly basis, Apple now, based off the rotation zone, is in sell mode. So rallies are especially to be sold. On the long-term systems, Apple looks like if it, on a weekly basis, if it closes down here, will trigger a long-term sell also. Does that mean we can't have bounces? No, but bounces get more heavily sold at this point. And keep in mind, Apple, even though, good company, but still P to E 25, 12. I'm expecting that to hit 16 before this is all over. Microsoft, we did this as a horizontal head and shoulder pattern. And we came back down to 260.04, next cluster area. My next target area on continued decline is about 245 to 250 area, where I'll be watching for potential. Longer term, I'm still expecting this whole pattern to complete and us reconnect with the weekly rotation zone. Microsoft also looks like it will be triggering. I actually think it triggered last week. It was very close to triggering that one on the conservative thing. I know on the aggressive one, it already triggered. Does that mean we can't get bounce plays? But look at all this key support coming in here. Bounce plays back to the daily rotation zone. It's now all this is resistance. So anything like this runs into resistance. By the way, we'll take a look at Nvidia, but AMD, I'm keeping an eye on this potential double bottom. Not a trigger, but we also might get some DeMark setups in here also. So I am keeping an eye on this for a potential bottom, but nothing's triggered yet. Nvidia, Nvidia is another one. I mean, it's in long-term sell mode. Nvidia still P to E at 45. This thing's gonna come down. Remember, we closed below that 62.5. Longer term, I'm still expecting it to hit at least 144. But any bounces, even back to 182, would just be against the daily rotation zone. Does it look like we might have a little short-term double here? Yeah. But that would be a super aggressive play higher. Let's see what else. Let's see what else do we have. Good afternoon, Sashi. Beyond becomes a teenager after market. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. Beyond Meat. And what was our next harmonic area was down at 17, trading at 20 right now. You will see this easily hit that 17 at some point. Here's your weekly. Even on any bounces back to 38, it's a complete rollover play again. Beyond's just going to get obliterated, and I know they didn't have good earnings. They missed on top and bottom line, missed pretty heavily on earnings, and missed on revenue. And again, these companies that have no P to E are just getting smoked. Would not want to be in anything. If you don't see a P and E, yes, you will get bounces in this, but there's nothing I want to be in longer term that does not have a P and E on it. Crypto will leak into stocks. People get margin call and further drops will call on both ends of crypto and the stock market. What's the bottom on Boeing? I've been waiting for you to ask for Boeing. Again, through the next harmonic, what's the bottom? At this point on Boeing, again, rallies I keep talking about, rallies are to be sold. You broke below this 145. Let's just see on our reverse harmonics now. I would not be surprised to see Boeing easily hit this 107 to about 94 area before it can even consider getting a long-term bottom in. This will be a very stronger area I will watch for a potential bottom. Nothing yet, and any rallies are to be sold because it's now broken key support becoming resistance. Should I just cut Boeing? I don't know your position. I would not be in Boeing. I mean, long term, it's in complete sell mode. It just broke critical support. It's been in sell mode since, back when it broke below 188. It's been in long-term sell mode. And now it just broke the last little line in the sand for me. So on any rallies, personally, I wouldn't be in it. I'd be looking to unwind a position. And look down here for some potential buy signals. Am I saying it can't rally? No, but rallies, again, would be going back in the daily rotation zone and to be sold. Affirm, buy the stock now, pay later. Is that, do they have that as a promotion where I can get the stock for 0% interest? Look at that. Affirm just getting, again, what do we see here? Just do a little glance. When you see here, you don't want to be owning this, especially going into Q2. Even on bounce plays, you don't want to be owning things without PE. With more rate hikes coming, with Q2 could be a disaster in earnings. So anything with the 0 PE, I'm looking for short plays again after bounces. ARK, you want ARK? Oh, you are a glutton for punishment. ARK below those things. Remember, those ones are down. We hit that 82.5. Now I'm expecting this area 33.10 to 34.56. I can't even get a decent harmonic on here because it's relentless selling. I had to use this 4-hour little pause bar. And even on rallies back, I'm just watching for ARK to pop into the daily rotation zones for rollover plays. Where do I look at this? I mean, once ARK really breaks down, there'll probably be a bounce down here somewhere, a little run-up play, and then, we could easily see ARK below $20 again. Oof, that will be fascinating. You want to talk about lawsuits will start flying, and that might get into some more liquidation mode, especially with what's going on in Tesla land longer term. ARK, Ancient Astronaut, welcome back. Thank you for being here. ARK is smoked up. I would not want to be owning ARK. It's made a round trip to COVID lows. Again, don't be fooled with this. You will get bounces in this thing. That will be the silly bounces. Just like we got that look, we have 1, 2, 3 week into the weekly rotation zone and then kaput. You had a 1, 2, 3 week weekly rotation zone, 8 pushing the price, kaput. So will we get bounce plays in this? Yes, we will. Are they buyable? Not. I wouldn't trade it with your money. But Rivian has no PE and gone up. I didn't say things without PE can't go up, Waka Waka. I said, what are the plays with no PE? They're to roll over and play dead again. You'll see ARC bounce. You'll see stuff like what will you bounce? You see a PE here? Yes. Will you bounce? Unity software. Yes, you will see a bounce in things like Unity software. Are the bounces to be bought? It could be an intraday play or a 1 or 2 day swing trade, but not long term. I mean, look at this. That is just ugly. Where's their PE? All these highly leveraged companies that were relying on cheap money are just going to get smoked longer term as long as rate hikes keep going on and as long as we're going into these recessionary markets. They got away with insane valuations based off of cheap money and people chasing these absurd plays higher. Look, we'll get a bounce in Roblox. I'm starting to watch for a bounce in Roblox down here off this harmonic. Little bounce into the daily rotation zone. So can stuff go up? Yes, absolutely. Could Roblox get back to 36? Theoretically, yeah, on a multi-week rally, especially if we get some NASDAQ rally. Would I be owning it up there? No. I'd be watching for the rollover play. Solana broke 50 support going to 20. Yeah, Solana, we had that head and shoulders pattern, which I'm thinking is going to, oh, you said 50. I'm thinking it's going to 31 at least. ARK Fund is my investing life. I hope not. I hope not. Looking for a pop in ARK so I can short a lot of these things. There'll be pops in them, and that sets up for good short plays again. ARK looks like they did a reverse stock split. ARK vertical up, vertical down. Oh my God. Mike's somewhat bullish. I blame the chat. Look, when everybody's going, tips the boat to complete bearish, and it's not just that. I start to watch sentiment really closely. But when we get things like cycles getting to the low, and you're going to get the bounce plays, and once everybody starts, and I'm talking bounce plays because retail's not thrown in the towel yet. Retail is not thrown in the towel yet. We are so bearish we made him bullish. I mean, come on. I think Algorand is one to watch, but not getting in crypto till the end of the bear market. I'm not touching crypto till we get, again, crypto was great for a while, but we just got too much crap, too much wash trading, too many fraudulent stable coins, too many pump and dump scams. And you don't need 18,000 coins. I'm looking for once we get down to like 10. All right, I'm very bearish still on crypto. Very bearish on crypto. Sitting here right at key support. This thing breaks. Next target is 23,580, 18,750. Look, this is who put this up here yesterday? No, I'm sorry, I forgot. With the monthly double top. That was Christoph, wasn't it? I'm still focused on 18,750 to 20K as an intermediate term target, but this is going to have some carnage. Also remember, once we start getting momentum into this area, look at this. This is an advanced clear path move all the way down to about 12. You start hitting stuff there, we're talking massive carnage. Massive carnage. Look at this. Right at the 62.5. What do you think I'm watching for the weekly close below? Because that then favors longer term. Look at your 87.5, 12,133. First target on the double, 10,750. So longer term, we get this close below this run up, 62.5. And that's from our COVID lows to the high in November of last year. Statistically, it favors it. So can't go against the statistics. Wavy arc is long-term buy if it remains in existence. If it remains in existence, she still holds a ton of crap, and some of those companies are going to disappear. Mike, bear season. We won't bottom until Kathy is liquidated. That's why. I mean, you could see her funds getting liquidated. And you could see some of the companies she has go belly up before this whole mess is over. At least get delisted and declare bankruptcy and get delisted. It's fully possible with more rate hikes on the future with the evaporation of cheap money. Not being able to refinance their debt properly or having to refinance at higher and higher rates, which a lot of these companies cannot afford much wiggle room in there. Another good one is Bros after reporting. Oh, that's painful. I would have never looked at that. Thank you for putting that in there, Paul. Whew. That's gonna take out its. That's gonna take out the lows from. Was that a SPAC or IPO? That's gonna. Wow. That's ugly. What's there? Oh, see, there's another one. That's not one I follow either. Thanks for putting that on there. But you have here. Oh no, where's your PDE? Goodbye. And yes, I will say it again. We will get bounces in a lot of these. What happens to ARC shares if she gets liquidated? It's just, yeah. Shareholders get paid out with what's remaining. She has billions in her control. It will get interesting. And again, she gets to keep all the fees she made. Well, I guarantee there'll be lawsuits, especially on the stuff that she was talking about, you know, the 50% returns year over year, still pumping her stuff on CNBC. There's going to be shareholder lawsuits at some point with her stuff. Bye-bye Teslas. What happens? We must sell shares to pay. At Disney, is it finally rolling over? Oh, yes, it is. That didn't last long. Oh, this market is fun. May we live in interesting markets. I wonder. I mean, 80s. Will it hit the 87.5? Will the statistics hold up with Disney? Remember, it's not guaranteed. It's not 100%. It's in the upper 70%. But that'll be interesting to see if Disney gets down to this 95 area. Oh, you had to put that in. Tesla coming for 420. Yeah, coin got brutalized today, down 29.6. And did you see their stuff in their filings yesterday with earnings that if they go bankrupt, any holdings with coin go poof? So would you be having any money, any crypto stored at coin? Not me. Not me. If you're still holding crypto, get it into a hardware wallet. Get it into a hardware wallet off these exchanges. ASAP. Y'all talk Amazon yet? No, we didn't. Amazon 2018 to 2000 next target lower. Amazon, oof. See, some of these are just getting really, really overdone bearishly. But, I mean, cycles are starting to turn up. We could actually see a pop to about 2,200 on Amazon if the market eases up a bit. If we push lower tomorrow, I'll focus on this 2000 to 2018 if we really crack. But this is getting, when you start seeing this, I mean, Amazon, even on a rally back to the weekly 200, is another rollover play for me. And that would only be back to 2,500 area. But again, where do we sit? Now, see, this is why longer term, I mean, their massive profitability is in AWS, the web services. Their other stuff just isn't profitable right now. So this is going to come down, I think, longer term still. So that's why even on a bigger pop, it's still another rollover play. We're going to see this PDE way lower before this market's done. Waka, you again make me look like a bull. Going to 1100. Ooh. Your Waka's making me look like a bull. I wonder where from all this way down. I have not actually done this. I'm just roughly going to estimate the lows. Waka, no. We could go, I could see it back down to 1450 or 1500. Right in here. I could see it down there. 1100. I don't know. We'll see. We got the long-term harmonics on there. Please share my knowledge on NASDAQ. I already covered NASDAQ with what I'm watching for tomorrow earlier. I'm not going to recap the whole thing. Again, I don't have a short-term bottoming pattern. Anything I'm watching overnight would be on short-term bounces, 12.130 to about this 12.232, with keep an eye on the 1 hour rotation zone. Other than that, there's no great short-term bottoming play just yet. We have PPI tomorrow. Big Hoss 81, thank you for being here. Shopify, here. You want to talk about one that I'm still incredibly bearish on? I want some rallies though. 270.15 P to E. This thing is going to get long-term obliterated too. I mean, my next price target, the next major one, it's already round trip below the 62.5, already from the COVID lows. Now I got to bump this down. I mean, I'm watching, I'd be watching about 237 to 199 is the next major support area, and rallies are to be sold on Shopify. Here was your last big rally back into the weekly rotation zone, rotating down. So could we snap back even to 4? Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to see 455, or we could move sideways before the next rollover push. But Shopify is not one that I am bullish on at all. At all. Rallies are to be sold for bearish plays or for put spreads or something else. Hey, well, just go back and watch some of the replay. It's right at the beginning. I covered the S&P, then NASDAQ. And thank you for being here. I'm glad you are here. I think it will overshoot. Watch Q2. Everyone said I don't know where Netflix, and look where it is now. Netflix finally getting down to some more sensible valuations, at least. Do you think Michael will get liquidated from all the BTC he bought? Yes, I do. Ooh, almost down to that next harmonic, 161.14. This one, again, Back below the 62.5, already hit that 87.5. I'm watching for this to get down at least to 91.90, and this could go away if MicroStrategy could their bonds are trading, their long-term bonds are getting destroyed. They're going to have some major financing issues coming up, major cash flow issues. So this one long-term, I could see this going to zero. Again, anything on bounce plays are bearish plays. Shop going to 1. I'll bid $1. Is that what you're doing, Waka Waka? I already said when they think we bounce. I'm watching, especially zeroing in on next week. We should get some kind of bounce play setting up. I'm looking to short a company called Toast. I like the name. Is there? Yeah, I've actually never looked. Oh, well, you should have shorted it up here because it's already Toast. Oh, look at that! Oh boy, it's another one with no P to E. So sad. Any bounce play was a bounce play back to 16 shortable. There's stuff in Discord. There's a lot of people who know the stuff I do on Discord. I'm recording some more stuff to teach. You'll just get a lot of the stuff I go through just by tuning in daily to the channel. It's also why I like to do things for donations. You have a great day too. Netflix target is 120s. Then we'll wrap this up. Where do we sit? PE still 16. I gotta get to some other. Let's roughly guesstimate this. I got 133 as a key level. 133. Because there's not a lot of major, some minor support in here, but there's not a lot of major support. If we get down in this area, though, again, you could see Netflix be a takeover candidate at some point. I don't know if it would make it to 120. But I'd get really interested even before that if we got a nice bottoming pattern around 132, 133. Well, I thought you said it was $1. You already said it was $1, Wavy. Oh, no, Waka Waka said it was $1. Sorry, not Wavy. Wavy's sub 50. I think it could go way lower than that. Oh, micro going broke, yep. Do you cover the semis and NVIDIA? Yeah, we can look at that. Again, semis I'm bearish on. We have this head and shoulders top. I'm thinking longer term with the SMH, the semiconductor ETF, 179.24. The only play we already looked at NVIDIA earlier. There's just a minor, very short-term bottoming pattern, but I'm watching for this to easily get back down to 145 and most likely 115 before it's all over. Now, you will get bounces in NVIDIA. The one semiconductor play I'm potentially watching is not triggered yet, is AMD for a potential bounce play. And it's not triggered yet. I'll let Elon know about Netflix. You do that. He seems to be wanting to buy companies. Where's Twitter? I looked at it earlier today. 46. I'm keeping an eye on this 44.36 area. That will be interesting. And with Tesla trading all the way down here, it gets very interesting for the buyout strategy and the financing. Not if toast goes to 1 cent. We're down to estimates of 1 penny. Are we going to bottom temporary before we? Yes, we're going to get a temporary bottom. We're going to get a temporary bottom. Remember, you can still get rip your face off rallies. For anybody new here, just go back. And I was trading back here. Hold on. I was trading back. I've been trading since 92 to put it in perspective. But you remember, and people seem to forget this, especially new people, you get some pretty significant rallies even after blistering sell-offs. You get pretty significant rallies like here. Before the next rollover, that was a 31% rally right there. I should just leave these on the chart so I don't have to keep redoing them. Here, back to that weekly rotation zone. See, weekly rotation zone. This was a 52% rally. Even this little one, I guess I can't leave them on there, can I? Back to the weekly rotation zone. That was a nearly 18% rally. So can you get decent rallies off of this thing? Yeah. You can easily get decent rallies off of this thing in a market that heads lower. So let's even say you had a 20% rally. Where does that put us? I'm just pretending today, which is not. I'm just making I'm playing Mr. Rogers right now. Where would a 20% rally take us? Look, even a 18%. Right back to the other end of the weekly rotation zone. And where would that sit with this last little sell-off? There's your 62.5. Between the 50 and the 62 odds. So let's just pretend today was a low, and it's not. This is, again, Mr. Rogers pretend land. But to the 50% level, that would be roughly 14%. To the 62.5% level, that would be 17.5%. So could you see a rally like that? Yes, you could. That's where I don't want people to forget that. Now, could we push lower before that happens? Yeah, but that's just going to shift these numbers down. So don't get caught up. Yes, longer term, I'm then expecting another major rollover play. Q2 is the real crash. I completely agree. Waka Waka. It's going to get ugly, especially once retail starts bailing. Once retail starts bailing, it's going to get ugly because they're still buying. Looks like market's going bearish. We'll see if Asia is finally bearish this time around. Yeah. Market will find a bottom in October. It very well could, Rich. The longer term bottom, again, after Q2, going into Q3, we get these 50 basis point hikes out. We get some carnage out of the way. We could very easily see a bottom in October. Could even see a massive sell-off and then a bottom in October. You're welcome, Wavy. Take money off the table when in profit. Oh, wash hands. I'm no buyer yet, waiting patiently for a signal. Yeah, and this is why now you're going to have to tune in with this. I'm going to wrap this up. It's been going close to an hour. I'm going to wrap this up. You'll have to tune in tomorrow morning for the PPI, and we'll see what kind of plays we get once that PPI number is out of the way. And we'll have the European trading session in to see if we did get some kind of bounce and if we get any potential bottoming patterns with overnight price action. With that, I'm going to wrap it up for now. I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you, Davey. Thank you for being here, Rich. Thank you for being here, Wavy. Thank you for being here. Everybody new who's tuning in, I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. You're going to learn a lot from this channel. Ask the longer term people who tune in all the time if they've learned anything. I bet you they have. And we have a great community here because you can also learn from fantastic people in here. There's some really smart people. You are welcome, Waka Waka. And with that, everyone have a wonderful and peaceful night. See, Wavy, this channel will change your life. And it's all based off just donations. Isn't that wonderful? So thank you. A big shout out again at the beginning to Kalani for the super sticker. Thank you again. And thank you for everybody else who's contributed on past days. Again, if you want to support this channel, it's not just super chats. You can do the buy me a coffee in the description links. You can do Patreon. You could join the Discord server and continue to learn on there. It's only a $10 one-time fee. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.